I'd like to introduce John from the United States, who takes LDN for Crohn's disease. Thank you for joining me, John.
Glad to be here.
Could you tell me when you were diagnosed with Crohn's?
I was 19 years old. I'm 55 now, so I've had it for quite some time.
Mm-hmm. And what were your symptoms like before you found LDN?
Well, there was kind of more than that. There was kind of there was the big dividing. The moment of clarity came when it was about 17 years ago. I had a resection done. I was living on the roller coaster like most people do. You know, I'll behave when you're feeling bad, and I'm going to live the way I want to live when I'm feeling good. And I was up and down. And during the time before the resection, there were times when I felt great, and then there were times when I had major flare-ups where I was cramping, in just excruciating pain, and with diarrhea and vomiting, and and always promising that I'll be better. In fact, to the point that it's funny. I think other things that Crohn's people do is they believe that, well, I might as well live the lifestyle that I want to live because I'm not going to get to live it. So they actually exacerbate their situation by living a much more strenuous life than they ever thought of, just because they're afraid that they're going to run out of time at some point. So I really did a number on myself. I mean, I walked around with a perforated intestine for 3 months, and I was down to 127 pounds, and I was usually at around 160, 165. And I was in the hospital for 20 days. And at that point, I came to the conclusion that, I just have to come up with a plan, because the plan that I had just wasn't working for me. So what I did, I started reading everything I could get my hands on as far as learning. This is pre-internet, so everything that I didn't know anything. So I started reading. In fact, my doctor at the time gave me a book by Bernie Siegel called Peace, Love, and Healing, and that was really one of the first things that, I finally accepted my disease, and I embraced it, and I started to love it, and I said, we're going to find out what we can do for you, and we're going to make you our number one priority, and we're going to take care of you. And at that point, my life really changed a lot. I made sure I got rest that I needed to get. I made sure that I ate what I was supposed to eat. I stayed away from the things I wasn't allowed to eat. I had acupuncture 4 to 6 times a year. I took vitamins. I did every, I stayed away from beef and dairy. I was just, the whole diet thing was just in its infancy 17 years ago. So I was really pretty much making this stuff up as I went. But at that point, I just made sure that it was my number one priority. And to the point that I was basically, for the last 17 years, I've been pain-free. I was only on 2 milligrams of prednisone every day. And, I was doing fine until my doctor told me that I had strictures. And on top of that, I had active Crohn's. Even though I was pretty much pain-free, I still had the disease, and it was still very active. And that's when they wanted to put me on Humira. And I just freaked out, because at that point my mom was dying of cancer. And so anything that had cancer written into it, just about, I'm like, it's a death sentence for me. I just know I'm going to get it, I'm probably irrational, but that's where my head was at the time. So I started searching out any avenue for alternatives. Mayo Clinic, University of Maryland. University of Maryland has a lot of great information on a lot of stuff. But I went to see the best. I even had this one crazy plan at one time to go to. I went to New York City to see Dr. Michelossi, who was like the premier surgeon in strictureplasty, where you don't do a resection, you cut and stretch the strictures so you can keep them in you. And because I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll just go another 17 years with a strictureplasty, and then maybe by then they'll have something that they've come up with. Well, he looked at me and said, "You're too healthy. We don't operate on people like you." And they gave me a specialist, and the specialist told me to go on Humira. In fact, I had 5 gastroenterologists tell me to go on Humira, so I was really flying in the face of traditional medicine. And just for, I don't know why, but I changed search engines one day when I was looking for more answers, and all of a sudden LDN came up, and then of course Crystal gave me the name of an LDN doctor in my area. I went to her, and she put me on a very strict diet along with some anti-inflammatory type of, well, there's a company called Metagenics. She put me on some of their products, which has like curcumin and EPA and DHA and stuff like that. And on top of that, I take 3 milligrams of LDN, and my C-reactive protein level went from, I believe it was like an 8, and 1 is good. I went from an 8 to a 0.19 in 2 months.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was revolutionary, to the point that my gastroenterologist, it was like a year and a half ago, our apple trees just gave apples like crazy. So I brought apples to school every day for the kids to eat, and then one day I made the mistake and I ate an apple, and the next day I was in the hospital. The peel got stuck in the strictures, and my gastroenterologist actually sent in his assistant because he refused to talk to me because he was that mad at me.
Mm.
And I wrote him a letter, and I apologized. I told him, I said, I don't blame you for being mad, but I realized that I needed a gastroenterologist for just situations like this. So I sent him all my blood work. I sent him all my colonoscopy results. I sent him everything, and he agreed to meet with me. And then he made me do some more blood work. And then when it was over, he actually prescribed LDN for me and started writing things down as if he wanted to know more information about it.
Mm-hmm. So if you had to rate your quality of life before LDN on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being good, what would it have been?
Well, I think the biggest thing that's really helped me with LDN is my mental health. The fact that you know as well as I do that probably what's worse than the physical problems, if there could be any, is the emotional and mental strain on why am I not right? Why am I not normal? Why am I not well? Why am I,
Mm-hmm.
fighting for some form of normalcy in my life? And that LDN, that's what LDN gave me, is the fact that it put me into full remission, and so I don't have to worry about it. But you know what I still do? There's still my doctor told me I could have like 1 indiscretion a month, so maybe I'll have a pizza and a couple of beers or something like that. And even when I'm doing it, I'm going, oh, you're just asking for trouble. I can barely even enjoy once a month having just 2 beers or something like that. It's just more than I can. It's still such a mental, you just get so scared. It's coming back. This is only just temporary, but it's still a better lifestyle because I don't have to worry about it like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm healthier.
That's good. What would you say to other people who've got Crohn's who are contemplating trying LDN, but they may be a little bit scared?
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. The thing is that you have to do is you have to accept it. You have to embrace your disease, and you have to search out all the answers. And I'll be honest with you, traditional medicine is going to send you towards trying to beat it into submission, whereas LDN is going to love your body and is going to help you heal your body naturally. And so, you know, you're going to have to take on traditional medicine, and you're going to have to go against your doctor. But you know, unless you're willing to, I guess, go with your traditional doctor, but there's a lot of side effects that you're going to have to deal with, and you can't stay on that poison forever. Sooner or later, you're going to have to get off of it, and you're going to have to come my way sooner or later. So, might as well do it now.
Well, thank you very much, John, for sharing your experience with us.
Sure, Linda. Anything you need, you let me know. Okay? Maybe let me know about Chicago. Maybe the missus and I can shoot over and at least say hi and take in some of the